Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something that's really changing the game in artificial intelligence. We're moving beyond the AI that just talks and diving into the AI that actually acts. Yep, we're talking about AI agents. Look, we've all used AI to, answer a quick question or help write an email. And that's AI as a tool, which is great. But what if an AI could plan your entire vacation for you? And I don't just mean give you ideas. I mean, it books the flights, it reserves the hotel, it maps out your itinerary, all from one simple request. Well, that's the world of AI agents. And this quote just nails it. The whole idea behind an agent is that it's playing a choose-your-own adventure to get a task done. At every single step, it's not just spitting out information, it's actively thinking, making a choice, picking a tool, and then moving on to the next step to get closer to the goal. So how on earth does it do that? Let's get into it. To really understand how an agent can pull all this off, we got to peek under the hood. It really all boils down to three essential parts that have to work together perfectly. So right at the heart of any AI agent, you're going to find these three things. You've got the brain, which does all the thinking. You've got the memory, which keeps track of everything. And then you have the toolbox, which lets it actually do stuff in the digital world. Let's break each one down real quick. So first, you have the brain, and that's a large language model, or LLM. This is the reasoning engine, the part that's actually making decisions. It takes your big goal, like plan my trip, and figures out, okay, what's the very next thing I need to do right now to make that happen? Next up is the memory, which developers often call the state. This is what stops the agent from, having a short-term memory. It keeps track of every single thing it's done and every piece of information it's gotten back. Without this, the agent would be totally lost. It wouldn't know if it already booked a flight or was still just looking at prices. And finally, we've got the toolbox. Now, this is what connects the agent's brain to the outside world. The tools in its box could be anything: a search engine, access to a database, the ability to interact with another website's API, you name it. And the real magic happens when these three parts start working together. So it's all one continuous loop, see? The brain checks the memory and goes, okay, what have we done so far? Then it glances over at its toolbox and decides, all right, what's the best tool for this next step? It uses the tool, gets a result, updates its memory with that new information, and the whole loop starts right over again until the job is done. So that's the basic anatomy. Now, let's get practical and see how people are actually building these things in the real world, using a few really popular frameworks. First up is LangChain. You can think of this one like a set of building blocks, kind of like Legos for agents. It gives you a really standard, but also super flexible way to snap together the brain, memory, and tools you need for your project. The real power of LangChain is that it's so plug and play. You can easily swap out the brain. Maybe you want to use GPT 3.5 today and a different model tomorrow. No problem. It's got this thing called an agent executor that handles all the memory and the decision loop for you. And maybe best of all, it comes with this huge catalog of ready-made tools, like the Tavily search tool that you can just hand to your agent right out of the box. Okay, next is AutoGen, and this one kind of flips the whole idea on its head. Instead of building one single super smart agent, AutoGen is all about creating a team of specialized agents that can actually work together and talk to each other, almost like a real project team in an office. So, for example, you could create a coder agent that is an absolute expert at writing Python code. And then you could create a product manager agent that's laser focused on the user's needs. And they'll literally have a conversation. The product manager can give instructions and feedback to the coder, who then goes back and improves the code. It's all automated. So this ability to simulate teamwork is really AutoGen's secret sauce. There's even a special agent called the user proxy that basically acts as your stand-in during the conversation. It passes your requests to the agent team, and this is key, it can actually execute the code they come up with, acting as the perfect bridge between you and your new AI team. And finally, there's TaskWeaver, which comes to us from Microsoft. So if AutoGen is all about teamwork, you can think of TaskWeaver as being all about precision, reliability, and especially safety, particularly when it's generating and running code. TaskWeaver uses this really methodical, structured process. A planner agent first breaks down your request into a series of logical steps. Then, a code interpreter agent writes the code needed for each of those steps. Its tools are called plugins, and this is a huge deal. TaskWeaver puts a major emphasis on safety by letting the human user approve any code before it gets executed.
So, okay, we've looked at the anatomy. We've seen some of these really powerful frameworks in action. But what's the big picture here? Where is all of this going?
If there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this fundamental shift. We are watching AI evolve from a passive assistant that just finds information for you to a truly active partner that takes action with you to actually get things done in the world. Now, this is an incredibly powerful, really exciting evolution, but it also leaves us with a pretty fascinating and critical question to think about. As these agents get better and more autonomous, we're going to have to start thinking really hard about that line between a helpful partner and an automated system that's calling the shots. Where do we as humans draw that line?